am more, not that I don't like pumpkin, but I like the apple when it comes to fall. The apple's so underrated.
I have to agree, 100%. It's crisp. It smells great. I love a good apple candle.
Yeah,
too.
the smell. I like apple. I like the smell of apple than I do pumpkin.
Yeah. What about today's also babbling day? Stephanie, you ever do babbling?
Yes, when election brain is full throttle, I babble.
That's what I'm like, every day.
Well, my daughter's like, are you computing anything at this point besides election stuff?
That's exactly right. So, so do you, whenever it's supper time, let's take a vote of what we're going to have for supper tonight, okay?
Yes, I mean, my family knows that extravagant meals is not in the outlook during election.
Right now. No, I don't think so. You're kind of a busy time. I do babbling too. I'm a babbler though too. Celebration of the Mind Day. All right, our mind.
Yeah.
Need that today for sure. Let's see here. Count your buttons day.
Count your buttons?
Buttons.
I have buttons.
You have buttons. Do you have a button jar, Stephanie?
I do. I actually have apparently a collection of antique buttons.
Oh, that's cool.
Through all the seamstresses of the family.
You
so,
say it like you're not the one that collected them all.
No, I still collect them. My mom was a seamstress too, so it was like, yes. And that was a thing back in the day. My mom taught me how to replace buttons, and also that was part of school curriculum back then.
That's what I asked. So are you so savvy?
Yes. Now, doing a whole outfit from a pattern, not so much, but repairing and hemming and all the alteration stuff. Yeah, that was.
Like those are some of my hidden talents.
Yeah, I was
we
you're telling your superpowers.
Yes.
That's awesome. Yeah, I remember like big jars of buttons. You know what I mean? And you don't see those very much as much so much anymore. Yeah. So button day today. Count your buttons day. Garbanzo beans day. Stephanie, like garbanzo beans?
I don't. No, I think I'm more traditional. Just give me a good old regular peanut.
And Angel, what about you?
No.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. Global Iodine Deficiency Disorders Prevention Day. Make sure you're getting your salt iodine. Isn't that right? Iodine.
Yeah.
International Adjust Your Chair Day. Stephanie, do you like your chair?
Yes. You have to have a comfy chair. If you don't have good support, then it creates all kind of issues.
Yeah. What about you, Angel?
Yeah, I don't get to sit a lot during the day, so I'm always moving around at the office, moving around. Not much sitting, so. But I do like me a good old comfy chair whenever I'm able to sit in one. Yeah.
Today's International Day of the Nacho.
The nacho.
I like the nacho cheese. Yeah. But you, Stephanie, you in on that?
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. A good old thing of nachos.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you. National Clean Your Virtual Desktop Day.
While you're sitting at your wonderful chair.
Yeah.
In your wonderful chair.
Yeah.
There you go.
Eating your nachos.
Eating your nachos.
National Pets for Veterans Day. I love that. Pets for Veterans.
Yeah.
We love our veterans.
That's a good one.
Yes.
National Pumpkin Cheesecake Day. I'm in.
Oh, see, whoever made National.
I feel like I'm gaining
Day,
weight as we're going through this process.
I know.
Well, I just want to say, whoever made National Apple Day had to throw in something pumpkin. See, they're trying to kick that apple out. No, you threw cheesecake in there with it. I see what you're doing. I see what you're trying to do here.
National Witch Hazel Day.
Okay.
Reptile Awareness Day. Do you got any reptiles, Stephanie?
No, that was always a thing. Like, nope.
I know Angels.
I would support my daughter's zoo, because she's into the animal kingdom's healthcare. But she'll send me pictures of patients sometimes, as far as ones that approve her to show me the pictures. I'm like, oh my gosh, a lizard, all these geckos, just all no.
Yeah. Yeah,
No snakes.
yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah, they can have all of them. Yeah, I just I'll let them everybody else celebrate, but I'll probably be with nachos today. That's what I would be, nachos.
Yeah.
But all right, so those are some holidays. Get out and enjoy. Speaking of holidays, tomorrow we'll be actually a week away from the big election day. Woohoo! I do want to remind everybody tomorrow night we will be having the political forum. It's not a debate forum. And it'll be up at the courthouse.
Tomorrow is 2 weeks from the
Oh,
election.
2 weeks. Sorry, my bad.
I was like, hang on,
Whoa,
hang on here.
I know.
What are you
shaved off
doing?
a
I'm
week.
woohooing anyway.
Sorry.
I'm
about
like,
that.
hang
Watch-
on, 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Sorry, but tomorrow night.
But if you want to vote in a week, you still can.
Yeah.
However, that is not election day.
Right.
Oh, vote now.
Yeah, vote now. My dad used to always say, vote early and vote often.
I was like, you said that, and I thought, wait a second.
I know, sorry.
Am I off?
I know. Panic attack here, sorry. Going back, the political forum will be tomorrow night. Everyone, it's open to the public to come on up to the courthouse there in the, what's that called?
They call it a meeting room.
The meeting room, yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's beautiful. It's going to be great, and we've never hosted it there, so we're very excited about that. So then, anyway, 6 o'clock, but I'll also be broadcasting it so you can listen to it on the radio, YouTube, or however you want to catch it. But you're more than welcome to come out and meet the candidates. But and it's not a debate; it's a forum. So I want to invite that. I want to get that out for sure on that. But Stephanie, we are on the countdown. Let's talk about, first of all, I think you have some good news, which I know as a clerk you worked very hard on this, and we're a little bit our numbers are up for early voting.
Yes, they are. They are setting records every day, beating 2020 records. And so, and then we have, of course, that's the in-person portion of the early voting. And then we have by mail and then also by email for overseas and military voters. So we have been hopping. Of course, I always say it could be worse. If we remember 2020, my staff, we were in full PPE ger and having to sanitize and clean, do the whole voting process. So that's something that we're not having to do this time. So, but still, I mean, it is, our numbers are just been amazing, and we have a lot of first-time voters, people who are older and have never voted before. And so they got registered before the deadline, and they're exercising their rights for the first time. Oh, wow. So it's interesting to hear all those stories, and that people are really seeing the importance of the election, no matter what party they're with. So, as an election administrator, I always say in my office, it's about the process, not the party. But it's so it's a lot to keep up with, but we will make it.
Right. No, what are they saying though? Like most people that come in, and like the ones that are voting maybe for the first time, or maybe coming in a little early, are they just like, are you hearing how important this is, and how many big races we've got going on, or what are they saying? I guess what's some of the things, the reason for the early voting?
Mainly they just want to see change. Now, when they come in, of course we do not allow them to express in full detail.
Right.
But if there's voters around, but it's mainly their, just the state of the world today. And so every voter has their reasoning. So, I mean, we're not getting, it's hard to weigh. I mean, of course, the number one question I always get asked when I'm out in public or whatever is, hey, who's winning? Who's winning? And it's like, that's not to be determined until the results start coming in on election night. So
we will let you know when I know.
Yeah, so if you understand the process actually behind the scenes, we're not inspecting ballots, we're not running, they're not being cast right now, so it's going to be a big toss up,
Right.
We will see how it goes, but I know that the climate of election world has just changed, since my very first election back in the spring of 2018. And so there's a lot more that goes into it. Every election, it's like with anything, you go back at federal, state, even the county level, and see what needs to be changed, what needs to be added, and then it adds on to the next election. So so basically, like for the first time ever, we had to regionally meet with Homeland Security and go over security guidelines that have to be even further implemented into the election process. When you get Narcan delivered to your office, just things like that. I used to worry about if it was going to rain on Election Day, but our response to things that have transpired, through the whole election process, it's not. I'm always like, if you're complacent, it's not if something's going to happen, it's when, and you need to be prepared as best you can. So I've worked with the emergency management director here in the county and the sheriffs, and we have a plan for that. But you always just got to, go with how the world's changing. So.
Well, and I think, just, for some reason, if you have any idea maybe that Tuesday on Election Day that you can't make it, I'm sure there's some that just think, for whatever reason, if life happens or something changes, this is so important, and I just want to make sure I get my vote in, I'm going to go ahead and vote early. You could have that,
Right. So we have the early voting process that started back on the 8th of October. So we're open Monday through Friday, 8 to noon and 1 to 4. This Saturday is our first early voting Saturday, which we're open 8 to 3. We're not closed for lunch, and then we'll be open the following Saturday, November the 2nd, 8 to 3 as well. And then the mail process, voting by mail, is still taking place, but those applications are due by midnight, October 24th. So this week, so they're due by midnight, those applications. And but then, we also have the overseas and a military process going on as well.
Right.
So, and we're going to be open the day before election here at the office till noon for early voting, and then for the in-person early voting. And then, of course, Election Day, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
So will you be doing 1 to 4 as well on that Monday?
No, that Monday, the early voting period for the state closes at noon.
Okay.
Closes out, so that's the deadline.
Right.
So next Monday, or November 4th at noon.
Okay. So if anybody feels like there's any way or anything that possibly could come up, or
yes, if the rain is going to deter you or the weather, go in and vote today. Today's actually going to be a beautiful day.
Yeah.
So you should get out today and vote.
Right.
Between
most definitely.
8 to
we
10
had
or 1 to 4.
tons of people coming on Saturday. Of course, we were closed, but we had so many that dispatch literally called me and said, "Hey, are you supposed to be open for early voting? We have people that keep coming wanting to vote." And it's like, no, unfortunately, it's the 2 Saturdays prior to the election. So
hopefully they're listening.
Oh, and of course,
they'll come back in.
Yeah, this Saturday we're open 8 to 3, and then also we have poll worker training, and then the sheriff is having their drug drop for prescription drugs that you're wanting to dispose of, and then they're also having a food drive. So this place will be hopping on Saturday.
Okay, we like it busy, and that's it. Yes, and I'm glad you brought that up, because that'll be this Saturday, the drug drop. And if you have any old medicines, don't flush them down the toilet, and get them out of your house. Or maybe if you've lost a loved one and there's some medicines, please use the drug drop. Yes, it's very, very. I'm so glad we have that. Yeah, very good. Stephanie, go back over the hours Monday through Friday this week.
It's 8 to noon,
okay,
1 to 4.
They're close.
And then
yeah,
the in-person will also happen for the following 2 Saturdays, 8 to 3. We will not be closed for lunch on Saturdays, and then up until noon on November the 4th.
Right. So kind of walk us through, for those that are thinking about early voting, but maybe just a little nervous. So they come to your office, they come to the clerk's office, and let's say that you hand them the ballot, or take us from there, and then how much, like, I guess, personal space do they have, or how do you do that? How do you?
Yeah, so it literally, we're a central count county, so all the ballots for early voting stay here in office. So they will go to our election and voter services office, and they will, show their Indian issued photo ID, and then they get checked in on the ePope book, and then they will then be given their ballot and their absentee envelope, and then they will proceed to the Franklin booth, which is a private voting booth for them to do their ballot. They will vote it, put it in the envelope, seal it, sign and date it. The absentee board has also, bipartisan board has signed and dated the envelope, and then those are secured under bipartisan two locks. Those are secured until Election Day. And then once, and I'm a stickler on numbers, so every ballot has to be accounted for. So I run reports, and we cannot start casting those ballots till later on Election Day until all numbers match. Say, for instance, I'm supposed to have 1,000 ballots from Posey Township. Then that's what we better physically have and what our report says. And then, of course, to throw a little bit of kinks in the mix is, the voter can come to the, if they say they come to a polling location and they want to vote on Election Day. Well, there's a whole process that has to take place. Affidavits have to be signed. Their ballot has to be pulled. So there's different situations. So you can't just go ahead, Election Day morning and start running absentee ballots. So we do have to wait till later on in the evening to run those. But they are secured, and then everything has to match before we can even start, the absentee board and county election board even actually running those ballots. But it is a safe and secure process, and then it's, I always tell the voters when they come in they have a question, because sometimes they think that they're casting their ballot right then and there, like it's going to be put into our machine. But right now, the state of Indiana still has in effect the death law. If someone does pass away prior to Election Day, then that ballot has to be pulled, their ballot envelope. So that's still in effect. That's one of those, everybody has an opinion about that law, especially election administrators, that,
Right.
we'd like to get a jump start on things, and I feel like if you have done your due diligence and came during the absentee ballot, early voting period, then that should count. But everybody has their own opinion, and of course, that law is made by at the state level. So that's something that, as election administrators, we would like to see changed. And then also, hey, if you have casted your ballot, if you come in here and done it, then let's go ahead and work ahead and get that done. Go ahead and scan them, but that's that's not up to me to make that ultimate decision.
Right.
So yeah.
Very interesting. So I think it's nice to know for anybody that's wanting to possibly do the early voting, a little nervous about it, and it's nice to know that you actually have a booth that they can actually go into. So it's very similar to actually what you would be doing on Tuesday. So that's nice to know if they were worried about privacy or worried about what what it would look like. It's nice for you. It's nice that they have that where it's very similar to what they would be doing on Election Day.
Right. I mean, our election office is basically a polling location, so it's set up exactly the way if you went into your polling location on Election Day. The only difference is on an absentee ballot that it is put into an envelope that you sign and the absentee board signs, and then it's secured until Election Day.
Very nice. So, like going back to like when we first started, like people see you on, see you out, and they're like, Stephanie, who's ahead? Who's going on? So really, I mean, so let's kind of make that transparent there. You have no idea because they've not even been counted yet. You've not even, those envelopes are still sealed.
I have no idea, and even though I'm an election administrator, I am on the ballot. So we still have what we call Election Day service come in through Harp Enterprises, who's our voting system vendor, and they come in here and they're with us all day on Election Day, and for any possible equipment that would go down or anything. And then they actually run the numbers. They actually are V drives that come in. I'm checking because everything is serial numbers. Like, I know exactly what went out to our polling locations when we set them up on the day before election. So I'm always checking those numbers and then hand off the V drive, and they actually run, download everything onto our election computer, which is a standalone computer that's not hooked to the internet. And it is like a little mini Fort Knox. And so that is the sole purpose of that computer, and that's what it does. It just reads the V drives to generate our results. So that is, so that way it's a person who's not even associated with anything Washington County election. So I feel like that is a good investment for good use of taxpaying dollars, where that completely takes any hands off of any results. So that way, it's worth a couple $100 to me to pay for Election Day service, and that way there's no questions, and that so it makes the candidates feel better. I don't have to worry about anything, any conspiracy theories or anything when it comes to that kind of stuff, because we do have heated races, believe it or not, at the local level. So that way, somebody else's hands are on the actual results. I'm verifying that V drive came out that I sent out, and then and then we start, of course, tabulating the results, and then send them out to our superior court room where we give the county election board gives out results.
Right. Well, and I think that, being transparent and just saying, here, I think that's always, playing it safe for sure. And I know your office is very good about that for sure. Have you heard of the new movement? It's a lot of churches are having special prayer, and it's called Souls to the Polls. Have you heard of this?
I heard a little bit about it, but I haven't really looked into it more into the details. But
I love the idea. I think it's getting everyone involved, and and I think that's a great way to look at it. Souls to the polls, and the new movement of churches getting involved, and having special prayer for probably the candidates and people going to do the voting.
Yes, absolutely. Lord knows election administrators right now, all 92 of us here in the state, could use some prayers, even across, the whole United States, because it is a very taxing time, especially, offices of our size that, one thing that some people always just think that's all I do is elections. That's all I do. But actually, our court side of our office doesn't stop.
Right.
People don't stop getting married. People don't stop getting divorces. People don't stop getting in arguments. People don't stop committing crimes because you're putting on an election.
Right.
So basically that wheel is still turning as we're preparing for an election as well. So it's a busy hub, that's for sure at this point. But yeah. So power of prayer, anything, whatever your spirituality is, just cast it on.
I agree. Souls to the polls. Love that. Stephanie, how much contact do you have? Do candidates come in like now just asking questions? Do you still have any contact with the candidates, or are they just go free, go out there and do your campaigns? Is that, or how?
No, I mean they definitely have a lot of questions, and we do have a lot of interaction with them after the the sign-up process is completed and they're certified to be on the ballot. So there's a lot of questions. All of them at heart are servant leaders, and the process of running for office can be scary. And, of course, I call it the longest, hardest job interview you'll ever go on.
True.
You're trying to do better for your community and help your community. And, sometimes when the politics are involved, it does get nasty at times, and it does weigh on you, so when you're running for office and going through that process. So they do have a lot of questions. I get questions about sign disclaimers, and of course they have financial reports that are due. So like our CFA 4s, our pre-general finance reports, were due last Friday, or this past Friday at noon. So they have a lot of questions about that. That can be confusing and overwhelming for them. And then basically just, hey, can I do this? Can I do that? They have questions about that. So it does get, it is hard for them. I understand. I've been there. I'm currently going through it now. Luckily, I'm unopposed, but yeah, it is a daunting process. And that's one of the things, like, with this job, I wasn't into politics prior to starting with the county. So the political portion is just a component of the job, and so it does get, it does weigh on you sometimes, believe me. When I first took office, and it was like, what in the world? I didn't know I was that interesting. I'm here to to do the job, and it's yeah. So I feel for them. I know how it is. Like I said, it is a I call it the longest job interview you'll ever go on.
You hear that all the time. I actually know some candidates right now, and actually they're not even within our county. They're in a neighboring county, and they said, I just want to do this job. I don't want to do the politics to be elected for it. They just have a passion for that position and helping people, and they're like, I don't want to, because like as you said, politics, they can get nasty and they can get personal, and they're like, I don't even want to do that part. I just want to do the job. And I'm like, yep, it's one of those stepping stones, and welcome to the politics side of it. I mean, I've heard that a few times. You're not alone.
Yeah, because you do put a lot of hard work, and of course you're basically interviewing for every registered voter that is out there. So you're doing the parades, you're putting a lot of, and then another component of it, especially on the local level, is, when you're running a campaign, and then you're using personal funds, or you're having to seek donations, and so that's a whole other aspect of it. So there is a lot of, your own funds and time and your family, and it's sometimes like a weird concept, especially at the local level. Like Angel said, like you want to do the job, and then you're qualified for it, but then you're having to prove yourself also to every registered voter that is that is able to vote in your county if it's a countywide office.
Right. Well, Stephanie, going back, we're getting close. So going back over when they go to the polls, remember that they need to bring their driver's license. Kind of go back over any rules and.
Yeah. So you're going to show your ID, and the main ID is your Indiana issued driver's license or Indiana issued ID. We will scan that at the poll book and check you in. And there's also fail-safes if there's an issue with your address. There's fail-safes that we have to abide by from the state of Indiana. And then, sometimes, voters haven't changed their address, and they're actually still registered at an old address. So depending on that time frame, then you could be eligible to go back to your last precinct to vote one last time. So currently we have several hundred, the freeze period started at midnight, October the 7th. We do have several hundred voters that have continued to go, of course, to the BMV, update their registration, or they've went to indianavoters.com to update. So those voters, depending on if they actually did a re-registration at their address, or some of them, after reviewing them, are from out of county, they missed the deadline. So unfortunately, they will not be able to vote here in the county. So we'll be getting those calls throughout Election Day, and those are a case-by-case basis, depending on what transpired. So we have to do some research on those. And unfortunately, some people swear they registered to vote. And then, of course, if they did register, we can see when they registered, how they registered. And some, will call in and they've actually are still registered in another county where they didn't actually register in Washington County. So there's all different, situations that can occur, but we thoroughly investigate because I don't want anybody to not be eligible to vote, but we have to abide by the laws of the state and the regulations that we have to abide by.
Well, it's good to know. And also, if you are maybe supporting a candidate and you have their shirt on, maybe their hat on, or some kind of clothing, you do not wear those into the polls, right?
Yeah, electioneering is still, a law in Indiana. They have changed July 1st of this year what we call the chute, which is a 50-foot, it used to be literally a chute, straight arrow, A to B, from the threshold of a precinct. Now it's a radius. So they have made it a little bit more interesting for election administrators when we set up the polling locations, that now it is a radius from, so if you're standing at the threshold of the precinct, it is literally a 50-foot radius left to right. So that makes it a little bit more interesting. So we will see how that goes on Election Day, because that's mainly our number one complaint that gets called in is electioneering. So you cannot enter the polling location if you have a tire, shirt, or if you're using your words to express support for a candidate. You cannot enter the polling location doing that. And then, of course, if you have, another shirt on that, say, a vintage shirt, and they're not on the ballot, okay, that's fine. But you cannot, anybody who's on the ballot, you cannot actively be in that 50-foot chute and then enter the polling location.
Yeah. Right. Well, I was just thinking, so those are just good rules to kind of go back over and just give reminders. It's been it's been since the primary that we did this, so it's kind of good to know if there's is there any other new laws that we need to know about or anything?
Not for the actual voters. I mean, we have things behind the scenes that we have laws that went into effect, but the main one is the electioneering law, as far as the radius instead of a direct line. So, so it'll be here before we know it. Sometimes I try not to even turn the TV on first thing in the morning as I'm getting ready to come in, because I'm like, oh my gosh, they do that. They do the countdown. Of course, that's the first thing you're hearing about, but that also educates me on what questions we might get that come into the office or call the office. We've had a lot about all the flooding and stuff in other states, people calling concerned, just, hey, how's that going to work? Well, that's up to their state's guidelines. That's not up to our county on what's going to transpire. But they're curious, but unfortunately I don't have the answers on that, on what their state is going to, what their response is going to be for their election.
Well, I've seen, the words I've heard lately are everybody's like excited about it and ready to get out and vote, or maybe have already voted. I've not heard any like sometimes people get like over it and like, I'm over this. I've not heard anybody say that. So I think it's been a positive so far experience for the election.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of positive feedback. I call them passionate voters. We've had a lot of people, excitement. We've had, new voters who have registered or voting for the first time. If they're just turning 18 and we're 17 and we're able to register for the primary by being 18 before November the 5th. We've had elderly voters who have never voted before. So it's really neat. I mean, we went out to one of the schools in the county. The other two schools had already got their students registered. So we're getting back out into the schools.
Love that.
And, so and then we have a couple schools that we are taking items out to them, some of the elementary schools where they're allowing the kids, to see the Franklin booth and have voting stickers, and they're voting for, it's about their lunches, So to get that process started for the next generation and get them excited about exercising their right to vote.
Yeah.
So that's exciting to see that happening out there. And then, of course, we have out at West Washington High School, next Tuesday we'll be going up to the State House where the I Voted sticker contest that our Secretary of State, Diego Morales, put on. And I had sent that out to the schools to see if anybody was interested. I was kind of like reliving my childhood. That was my fun thing, was the art contest and stuff. And literally, there was a buzz in the county, and word, and it finally got confirmed, and then we were able to confirm it with our press release from the Secretary of State's office. But that's exciting that they have, she came in first place.
Yeah.
And so those stickers are in production. You will see those at the polls. And so we will go up to the State House on the 29th for the ceremony and stuff. So that's exciting. That's on days where, I'm worn and exhausted because we've been preparing for this election, and that just puts new life into it.
Well,
that was it's a great honor.
You're getting people that would not be participating in the election to participate in some way in the election.
Absolutely.
That's really cool.
Well, I love it, and hats off and a big shout out to Diego. I mean, I love his creativeness. I love the idea, and I think it's great to get more people involved. And congratulations, on the West Washington student. I'm a loss for names right now.
Oh, Riley Skinner.
Yeah, Riley Skinner. Yes, Riley on that, and
senior out at West Washington, and that was over 1,000 entries.
Yeah, pretty cool.
I mean, it's. Yeah, so I was definitely excited. I mean, I was just like, woo! Yeah. I mean, because that's a great honor.
For sure. Well, I can't wait to see or to wear one of those stickers for sure.
Yes, yeah. So they will be delivered here to the office, and then that you will be seeing those out at your polling locations.
Yeah, that's awesome. Very good. Well, I'm glad we brought that up because I meant to say that, and we're very proud of Riley, and of course I love that Diego came up with the idea. Love the idea, and he's very active and very much involved for sure.
Oh my gosh, I'm always like, can you just jar a little bit of your energy?
Yeah.
I need to change coffee, move from Folgers to whatever the coffee. Whereas, he's like, it's coffee. I'm like, oh my gosh, but his energy is contagious.
Yeah.
And I have been under 3 Secretary of States. They've all been wonderful, but he has really taken it to the next level. I mean, when he says, here's my cell phone number, call me if you need anything, he means it. You call his number, he's answering. And he has, very informative, so he has really, even, getting voters registered to vote, putting it out there, educating, for the process, really staying on top of voter confidence. He is sending out signs to us to put out to our polling locations to reassure voters U.S. citizens are voting. So anything that is going on nationally or in other states, he is checking it out, and he wants the Indiana voters to feel 100% confident in exercising their right to vote.
Yeah, I love that. Works hard on that. I love that too. All right, Stephanie, I know I took you a little more of your time. Thank you for being so generous with it. Is there anything else we missed or anything that we need to talk about? Of course, reminding everybody, early voting, get out and vote, and the political forum tomorrow night.
Yes, just go over those times again. We're doing early voting Monday through Friday, 8 to noon and 1 to 4, all the way until November the 4th at noon. These next 2 Saturdays, 8 to 3, we will be open. For early voting, we will not be closed for lunch. And again, those absentee applications to get a ballot by mail need to be turned in by midnight on the 24th. And so you have a couple ways of doing that. You can call our office. You can stop by our office. And you can also go on indianavoters.com and complete it online, and it comes to us electronically, and that's the state's website. So we're just constantly, trying to get the word out on the deadlines and where people need to go to vote. And, of course, the early voting is conducted here at our office in the Washington County Justice Center at 801 South Jackson Street.
Love that. All right. Well, you and your team, Stephanie, keep up the great work. We appreciate you and being so thorough and helping us out and getting us your ABCing it, making it easy for us. And we appreciate that for all you do for our county and for the whole community.
Well, I it's an honor to do it, and we just are, we try as hard as we can to get everything accomplished and get the word out to the voters so they feel confident and secure in the whole process.
Right. And again, a reminder also on election night at 6 o'clock, the polls close. They open at 6 a.m., close at 6 p.m., and shortly after that, Wslm will go live on the air, and we'll be doing full election coverage right there from not too far from your office there.
No. So we have that process down pat. You're the official radio station for the election night results, and so we bring those reports out, and of course it's open to the public to come in.
Yes.
And also listen, and the candidates usually come in here as well as far as in the courtroom, and then wait for those results to come through. So hopefully it's not going to be too late of a night. We're excited. It is a long day for us here at the office, but it is exciting once we say, okay, polls are closed. Choo. Then we get our burst of energy, and then we start waiting for the precincts to come in, and then we start running those V drives and get those results out, and then send them up to the state and hopefully get to bed at a decent time.
All right. Love that. Well, Stephanie, keep up the great work, and again, tell everybody there your team hi, and they're doing a great job, and I'm sure we'll talk again, and thank you for all you do, Stephanie. And again, for location of your office or phone number, if they want to ask questions?
Yeah, so we're at the Washington County Justice Center. We're part of the judicial system, so we are attached to the front part of the sheriff's office. We're at 801 South Jackson Street. You will enter through security, enter the hallway, and go all the way down to the end to the Election Voter Services office. And then if you have any questions, feel free to call our office at 812-883-5748. And then you'll hit 2 for elections. Or you can just stop by, or you can email Merck at WashingtonCounty, spelled out, .in.gov.
Awesome. Very good. All right, well, keep up the great work, Stephanie, and we'll let you go. And have a good Monday, okay?
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
I guess the thing should be get out and vote. Get out and vote.
GOTV.
Vote. When she was talking about, going to the polls and wearing clothing, that you also don't even try to push it. You know what I mean? Like I was thinking about all the things I could have done with my name. You know what I mean? But anyway, just thinking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ooh, feedback. Whoa. Hello.
It's telling you to stop.
I know. Stop that. Stop that. Don't put that
Stop.
there.
Yeah, I mean it's something that you don't really think about. You're getting dressed for the day and you're supporting your party or your candidate. So it's easy to do.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. It's easy to do.
Well, if I wore, I was thinking about a shirt like Uncle Ben's white rice. The word white. I was thinking, if you were running. I'm not running for anything.
I don't know. I don't know if people would put that together.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
But
Well, if it was in big bold letters, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Maybe just
It's black or white. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah. All of these things were going through my mind. I'm sorry. Okay.
Well, thank goodness we're not doing. Well, it was funny because one year I was electioneering, and you know, you go in to vote, and you got your candidate's name on your shirt, and you're like, oh, I gotta grab a jacket. Oh wait, my jacket's got it
on there too.
So
I've literally seen men turn their shirts inside.
Yeah.
No, I've not seen women do it. I've seen men literally do
yeah,
that.
you just turn your shirt inside out.
Yeah. Put
Put
a jacket on.
Put a jacket on. Put a sweatshirt on. Put a shirt over it. Just
I have no trouble putting a sweatshirt on. Yes.
Yeah, I mean it's just part of it. So, they've been doing that for years.
That's
Nothing's
right.
new.
Nothing's new.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's something that you can easily forget. That's for sure.
Right. Well, we'll go back to election just a second here. We're gonna veer off. We're gonna go squirrel for a second. Go down another trail because the Salem Lions beat West Washington Friday night, and so now Salem is the county championship. Eastern lost to Charlestown, and Purdue lost Friday night to Oregon. It's kind of different for Purdue to have a Friday night game, but they lost to Oregon. IU beat Northwestern Saturday.
Yeah, they did.
To remain unbeaten 7-0. What a streak they're going on there. 7-0.
I'm super excited.
For sure. The Colts beat the Dolphins.
That
was a rough game, wasn't it?
That was a rough game.
Sunday,
That game, listen.
Abby was up there and said she had a blast, though.
As a Colts fan,
yeah,
it was a hard. Listen, okay, so this is what I was thinking. If you're not if you just like watching football, which I do, I love watching football. But when you have your team and you're really trying to just like pick who wins. I mean, you got Jonathan Taylor out. Which he's fun to watch. So the Colts yesterday were not fun to watch. They made it it was very straining as a fan. And I'm like, man, this game is just hard. And then you got that Mahomes Purdy game coming up next. And you're like, okay, the Colts cannot get over soon enough at this point. Yeah. So yes, thankfully the Colts did pull out that win, but it was. A win is a win.
A win is a win.
And I'm very
thankful. Say. That's right.
Lord knows how competitive I am. So I'm very thankful they won. But man, did they! It was watching. I mean, a little bit of paint dry. Just come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they did it. They pulled out the victory. So good for them. Yes, they needed that.
And of course, this coming Friday night will be the first round of high school sectionals. So isn't that crazy how fast it's going? So we'll be in sectional action for high school football. So that's exciting for sure. So round one, ding.
That's right.
Tonight we'll be having the Baltimore at Tampa Bay at 7:30.
Yep, I'm ready for that game.
Monday night. Is that you got any of your fantasy football?
Yep, sure do.
Do you?
Yeah, Derrick Henry.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Then Tuesday night we are going to be totally the WSL Political Forum. It'll be live at 6 p.m. with our moderator Alex Uli, and he is ready for that, ready for the task there. A new location, but same great people. Alex is going to be doing that. Wednesday will be Coach's Corner at 7 p.m. And then we'll have, isn't it crazy, we're already to basketball too. IU basketball starting, and but this is the Pacers at the Pistons. We'll join that in progress.
He did what in his cup?
It's funny, my mind thought that too.
I can't.
Oh my goodness.
For car fans everywhere.
I know.
Tomater without the top.
I can't every
he
time
won
I hear
the
that.
Piston Cup.
If I was a Piston fan, that'd be everything
he did what in his cup?
I can't get that out of my mind either. Okay, Thursday will be week 6, Thursday night football, Denver at New Orleans at 7:30. And then, of course, Salem, let's see here. Anyway, so then Friday night we'll have our three county teams going in action. So exciting for sure. On the football, basketball, I mean, everything's going on, right? I mean, as far as that. And
the guy in my fantasy football, his quarterback is Lamar Jackson. So this should be an interesting night.
I love that. For sure.
I don't love it so much.
kind of crazy, right?
Well, so Patrick Mahomes is my quarterback, right?
Right.
But they ran the ball. So they had a really big running game yesterday. So they had it's funny, twofold.
You get more points by doing that, though. Yeah, if you had a running back, right?
Patrick Mahomes is the quarterback.
I know, but I thought you said he had a good running game.
He's not.
You don't get points.
The team
I can't remember.
Had a running game.
Oh, okay.
Less than a passing
But
game.
you only had him. Did you have anybody else on the team that would have got you some points
No,
from running? Oh.
No. But it's funny because he also scored his most yardage of his most running yards. So ever. And so I think it was like 41.
When he heated, when there's something with some bad calls or something, he got a little upset.
Oh, there wasn't necessarily bad calls. There was there was a little back and forth after there was little fouls there for the last
I like
little
a little
bit,
stirring there.
where there was some hitting. One guy got ejected from the game for throwing a punch. It's funny. I heard Tom Brady. He was talking and. Which I'm sure, if you watched the game, you heard all this already. So sorry if it's a repeat. But it was funny because the Kansas City Chiefs guy hit him, but then the 49ers guy came back and just punched him. And so Tom Brady said, they always get the second guy. I don't know why, but they always get the second guy. And he goes, also, I've never understood why you punch a helmet.
Yeah.
He goes, he's protected. Like, that's going to hurt you more than. So it was just, it was funny. But, yeah, they are actually, they're 7-0, 6-0, 7-0. Chiefs are. So, not only do they have Patrick Mahomes who can pass, but they've got a running game, and they showed that yesterday. Purdy, I don't know what was going on with Mr. Brock Purdy yesterday. They said that he didn't play like he normally plays. So, I don't know.
And then IU's quarterback hurt his thumb.
Yeah.
He's going to be out.
Yeah, he's out. So, I don't know. We're gonna have to fix that.
But a thumb injury, you think about that though for a quarterback, not a good thing. Not a good. That's kind of bad. Yeah.
No, but we need him. So he's got a few days to. But I don't know.
Thumb therapy.
We'll see what happens with him.
Also, going a little bit of different route too. Don't forget, save the date on your calendar for the Halloween Boo Bash coming up at the Stevens Memorial Museum. It'll be Saturday, October the 26th from 5 to 6:15 p.m. Bring the kids, trick or treat for free. It's fun at John Hay Center. It's visit the booths, and they're local, decorated by local businesses, civic groups, organizations. The event is free to the community, so bring your children in costume and stroll the museum. So it should be a lot of fun. It should be a great time.
So I think the idea, right, is to come and go through the vendors and get your candy, take your kids through, and then the parade's right afterwards.
Yeah, and then you can walk right up to the parade.
Just walk right up. It's right there.
That's why we end at 6:15 because the parade usually starts at 6:30.
So just a reminder, you can come there and then go straight to the parade.
Yeah, perfect. Also, they'll have the pumpkins too. Some pumpkins there for you to see on the pumpkin. Walk, the pumpkin walk. Let me say pumpkin one more time. Drinking coffee game. Also, it's a great time too to showcase our beautiful museum and the grounds there. I know a lot of people know it, but it's kind of cool to it's a cool atmosphere.
It's always okay to see
cool
it again.
Vibe. It's always cool to see it again. Yeah, cool vibe for sure. So that'll be on the 26th from 5 to 6:15 p.m. So hopefully everybody will come out for that. All right, so we've only got a few more minutes left. So where is AFP? What are they doing right now with the election and everything?
Yeah, we are getting, we're pounding that pavement. We are out. We are on phones. We are on doors. We are doing. we are visible. I can tell you that. We're working those races that we have had. Our hands dipped in and toes dipped in, all the things. So we're doing it. Very busy right now, spending countless hours for these candidates that we believe. People probably are getting some of our mailers. But yeah, we're doing. We're working like as if it's the last 2 weeks before the election, because that's what it is. And when you've been doing it, it kind of, when you start out, it sounds like it's going to be a long road, and now here we are, and it feels like just yesterday we started these races. So We're excited. We're working hard. We're working hard, getting people excited, informing people, talking to voters, educating them. Yeah. Trying to see where people are at currently, get where they're at. Some people, they might be on the fence. And so we're having those conversations, and yeah, doing what we're supposed to be. I mean, doing all that we can do right now. There is no man left behind at this point.
I love that. In a lot of your like phone calls and a lot of your, talking with people and just, having events throughout the year, which you've had a lot of events, has been a very busy year. You've done a lot of good networking, but it seems, we always kind of like, the different categories that people feel most passionate about, like, and I know, from like, what are most people concerned at? Are they concerned with, I don't remember all the different things like the economy, the help me out here.
Like immigration,
different
the
things.
Economy, inflation.
Yeah, all of that. And I saw a poll the other day, and it said that most Americans, the number one thing that I think most people are concerned with, and maybe I guess would be their thing, would be inflation. They said that was really one of the most.
Which is one of the reasons we ran that Bidenomics campaign. All summer long, and we were giving back to families because we know, we've heard the countless stories. We know that it's real. There's families struggling. We got Christmas coming up, and I know that there's families that are counting how many paychecks they have until Christmas,
sure.
And it's true. It's alive, and it's true. They can, you can say it's not happening. It 100% is happening. I know there's a meme going around on social media that, forget the Black Friday TVs. We all have a TV. We need grocery prices to go down, and it's not a lie. It's true, and I think that it's sad, and we kind of were facing that one head on. That's the reason why we're trying our hardest to give back. We did multiple give back events all across the state, literally from the top of the state to the bottom of the state. We were doing things for people. Just one of the great things the organization was trying to do to give back to the constituents. So yeah, we've been talking. We've done the hard work. We're still doing the hard work. We're finding out. We are not just getting our data. We're firsthand getting that data. We're talking to the folks, and so yeah. So it's one of the cool things about the organization is they truly care about the taxpayers.
Right.
And that's what we're doing now. We're looking at policy. Policy. There's a reason why we support these candidates. We've looked at their policy, and we think that they're best suited for the job, and so we want to help get them elected, and that's what we're doing currently. We got 2 weeks, and this has been a long, hard fight that we've been fighting for months, and we're ready. We're ready. We rallied the troops, and that's one of the great things I said. You start early enough, and you get those people that are passionate as you are about the candidates and the policies that they're going to support. You have troops lining up, ready to help out. So we did. We we unleashed the beast months ago. They're out and about, and they're doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing, and so we're excited. We're excited for 2 weeks to just really hit it hard.
Yeah, that's exciting, and it's like you're getting ready for the big dance, the big show,
We are. I think that one of my mentors. One of the things that I learned was she said, the worst or the best thing I can say is if I can get to election day, win or lose, as long as I did everything I possibly could and worked as hard as I could, then I will feel better the results either way.
Absolutely.
Because there's nothing else I could have done.
Absolutely. That's exactly right. Lay your head down on the pillow
and that's what we're doing. We're doing all that we can do. And we're out here, and now it's up to the constituents to get out and vote.
Absolutely, do it. And of course we know that even Stephanie, we talked with, our clerk, talked about, I mean, it's pretty well spoon fed how much they're open and available for you to come and vote, early if you cannot make it, but of course then the polls, polling locations. So they've really gone above and beyond to make sure that everyone gets out and votes. And I'm glad that our numbers are up, and I hope we're record breaking. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah, I'm ready for it. I think this would be a great election to be record breaking.
That'd be cool.
We got a big election in local, state, and federal level. It's a great time. Great opportunity. No excuses.
No, not at all. All right. Well, thank you for joining me this morning at Americans for Prosperity. Thanks for bringing this program this morning. And let's thank our sponsors.
All right, let's thank Meadowview Healthcare, Walmart, Salem Crossing, Hoosier Uplands, Americans for Prosperity, Mama Rosa's, Fox Purlee Wealth Management, Dr. Black's Eye Associates, Dr. Mindy Gunn, Marshall Monuments, and McAllister Land Consulting.
All right, let's have the best Monday ever.
Happy Monday.
Have you ever tried to follow what your candidate has attempted to say, but depending on the story, you get lost, or maybe the quote was even wrong or slanted with political bias? Wslm offers an objective way to hear what your candidate has to say, firsthand and in their own voice. Wslm once again will present our political forum for the upcoming general election on Tuesday, October 22nd at 6 p.m. at the Washington County Courthouse meeting room upstairs. Contested races for the Indiana House, Washington County Commissioners, and Salem School Board will be featured. Other candidates who are not in contested races will be able to introduce themselves. Please tune in to hear what your candidate has to say, in their own words, on Tuesday, October 22nd at 6 p.m. And don't forget to tune in for live election night coverage on Tuesday, November 5th, beginning at 6 p.m. on WSLM, your official election station.
The Shakaroni is back. Get the extra cheesy, extra pepperoni pizza with extra large slices only from Papa John's. A pizza so big, you're going to have to share it. We're talking 8 boldy, foldy, shacky, stacky slices. It all starts with Papa John's fresh, never frozen original dough, hand stretched into an extra large pizza. Then it's topped with extra cheese and extra pepperoni for that ooey gooey, peppy, pleasy taste. Order one today online or with
It's the final year of the Rick and Bubba Show. From Calhoun County to radio royalty, Rick and Bubba.
Thank you for being with us. Bubba out today. Speedy, Greg Adler here. We are recapping all the things from the weekend and personally and around the world. We now have used Dickie Nadmeyer to transition us into the college football updates from the weekend, and there are many that we will run through. He did not sound, he sounded like he's, well, that's as down as, I mean, over the years, though, you've heard him down before, but is as down as that?
Well, down, frustrated, just done with it all.
Done.
Just disgusted. Maybe that's it.
Right. Yeah, he sounded,
He's disgusted.
He's at a bad place. Right.
Yeah.
For lack of a better term.
Well, did I hear he's not going to the game?
Said he wasn't, but you know as well as I do, as the week it gets closer,
Right.
he can't sit at home
Let
on
it get
a Saturday,
midweek.
yeah. Especially in Tuscaloosa. Come on.
What he is feeling, though, is what the average fan feels of other teams. We go through heartbreak all the time.
Yeah.
And disappointment.
Did I
And
hear?
he just hadn't felt that.
I leave the room because I don't like sitting here with him.
Right.
But
Makes you nervous.
did I hear that he doesn't think they should be in the playoff no matter what happens?
Yes,
The
he
rest
said
of the
they
year?
ought to turn it
He
down.
said it doesn't matter. There's 12 spots. He said they don't deserve not
And
one of them.
did I hear him combine two names as a shot and call Kalen DeBoer Kalen DeBoe?
Yeah,
He
which
did,
was a good
he
one.
did. He'll get
I mean,
things
you
mixed
gotta
up.
admit.
That's good. So anyway, all right. Well, that's behind us.
Very frustrating, man.
Yeah. Oh wow. And,
We didn't even get into, how the family was doing, because I'd love to.
Well, it sounds like there was a bit of a fisticuff involving the volunteer and Smokey the dog. Huh?
And a cigar.
Yeah,
Right.
that got out of hand.
It really did. I think I wasn't prepared for it. That Phyllis thought the gun was live.
Yeah. She beat him with it.
All right, so let's look at
Thought
some
it
of
was
that.
real.
So a couple of big games over the weekend. It doesn't get any bigger than Texas getting handled by Georgia.
Oh boy.
And Tennessee beating Alabama. I think all right, I want to ask you guys this in your opinion. Which one of those wins is more surprising?
Georgia beating Texas.
I think so.
At least
in the fashion
the way
that they've
Alabama's playing right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you going in, you knew
Versus how
Alabama.
Texas is
I thought Texas
Yeah.
was the best team in the country. Of course, that's ridiculous to say that at this point because the polls they don't even know. But I thought Georgia could beat them definitely, but not like that
Not
because
like
the
that.
score's closer than the game was.
Right.
The game wasn't even that close.
Yeah.
So I know we have some